Okay, Janusz has 2 bags of flour. He moves 25% of the flour in bag A to bag B. He then moves 20% of the flour now in bag B to bag A. And there are now 801 grams of flour in bag A and 660 grams of flour in bag B. And we're asked how many grams of flour were in bag A at the start. Now, I don't mind telling you that this had me scratching my head for a few moments when I first started, because I just sort of drew um, a, well, I didn't quite, I knew that I could draw a bar for A and B. Well, you are going to have to draw a bar for A and B. But if you start right at the beginning and you draw, say, a bar with 4 parts, because you've got 25% or a quarter here, and you then move 1/4 into B, it's hard to see how you could then divide that into fifths and know how to divide that, because you don't know how big either of these are in relation to each other. And it was all just getting very confusing, and I thought that's not going to get me anywhere. What you want is to be able to attribute numbers, values to your bar or the parts within your bar. So that's why I decided to start here in the middle. Okay, so we've got A and we've got B, and I'm actually going to start by drawing a bar for B. Okay, because we're told that once this has happened, he then moves 20% of the flour now in bag B back to bag A. So 20% is 1/5. So I am going to draw a bar with 5 equal parts. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And he moves 20% of the flour back to A. So that's what I'm going to represent. There we go. This is that 20%. Okay. And that's going off to A. Okay. And I suppose I could, I could draw it here somewhere. Right. Let's imagine. I have no idea. Well, these are sort of the same. I'm going to make it look the same. So that's that 20%. And here's the rest of the bar for A. Okay, we'll come back to that in a moment. Right, so let's look. So we've got bar B and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts left. What we also know is that we have 660 grams of flour left, which is fantastic because we now have a value that we can attribute to some equal parts here. So 660. And if we divide, so 660, we want to divide that by 4. And that is going to give us 165. So each of these parts, because all of these parts are equal, are 165. 165. Okay. I don't normally write them all in, but I'm just sort of emphasizing these points. And particularly when I get to here, this is also 165. And of course, we know that this part is getting moved here. So if this is 165, this is also 165. Okay. What do we know? We know that there are 801 grams of flour in bag A at the end after this 165 has been moved. So we know that this all the way to here is 801. Well, what else do we know? Well, we know that before this was moved back to here, okay, that there were 3 of the 4 parts left from the original scenario. Okay, so let's just see. 1. Okay, so these are 3 very badly drawn parts. Okay, they don't these parts are not the same as these parts. Okay, these are the 3/4 that were left after Janusz moved a quarter or 25% of his flour into bag B. All right. And why is this important? Well, it means then that if I take 165 away from 101, that I can attribute a value to this part here. So 801 minus 165, that is going to give me 636. So that's that bit here. Okay, this is 636. And if I divide 636 by the 3 equal parts, that's going to give me 212. I think I'm going to change color just for the sake of it. So this is 212, as is this, as is this. Okay, so, and we've filled in, we've got a lot of numbers here. Let's check back to what question we're actually asked. How many grams of flour were in bag A at the start? Well, at the start, we had these 3 parts plus another one exactly the same. Remember, these were the 3/4 that were left after a quarter was taken out. So what we want is we can either do 212 times 4, or we could do, we already know that that's 636, and we can add 212. Okay, I don't know why I'm not using my squared paper properly, but probably just to, I'm not actually doing it to deliberately annoy anyone out there. And we end up with 848. Okay, so we could have also done 636 times 4. Okay, that would obviously give us the same answer. So, and that is our answer. Okay, ta-da. Okay, oh, why didn't the color change? There we go. All right, so that's our answer. 848 grams. I hope you followed that. I did quite enjoy that. I think it's one of those puzzles that really shows how powerful a bar model can be, because I couldn't quite see what to do at the beginning. And then once I started drawing it, it did become clear.